Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles, a great millstone, who are teaching the truth and sincerity. And a shout out to Yakin that's out there in four quarters of the earth proclaiming this truth. Bracha the Yahweh, Bracha the Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakadash, Bracha Dam. So, in here another week and prophesying the downfall of Basra, Babylon the Great, Edom, if you will, and the downfall of the Edomites, pretty much. Last time I was here, well, you come to find out that someone stole another man's scooter, you know. Homeless ripping off the homeless, pretty much, you know. And that's just it, man. This place is a cesspool because, of course, like everything else, though, the only thing that Redding does differently than San Francisco or LA is they actually tried to, and some places still have a key code, but they decided to do away with that because they didn't want their whole city smelling like shit. You know, because people will defecate on the streets, man. And I always knew that was a problem years ago when Oakland and Alameda and all them places near San Francisco were doing it. San Francisco, you know, that they would have a problem with that because if you're already homeless, you ain't got money to pay. And they were charging people $2 to use the bathroom if they weren't buying anything. You had to buy something in order to use their restroom. Well, if you ain't got shit to your name, man, where you gonna go, you know? So, you know, now the whole city smells like shit, you know, and it was beginning to happen here because they know that most of the population of Redding is homeless. I mean, think about what the Carr fire did, and we just had another one, you know. It wasn't as big as the Carr fire, you know, the Jones Valley fire, but nonetheless, though, it was enough that people started evacuating and didn't even wait for the National Guard to knock on the doors and tell them that they had to evacuate, even though it was a small area, but man, you could see those plumes of smoke. They say it was a houseboat that caught on fire, you know. Well, you know, it may or may not have been an orchestrated fire. This one looks like it wasn't, but you know as well as I do that they still plan on doing stuff, you know. You know, they don't make preparations for stuff like this. They don't do practice drills unless there's going to be events popping off. So, you know, always be on the lookout for Esau. Always expect the worst when it comes to these elites, because you know what their plan is. That's why Donald Trump is telling American companies not to even buy Chinese goods, you know. And what do you think that's going to do to the economy that already relies upon that, you know? Just his rhetoric alone, you know, its number one partner is Mexico. But you know what he's doing to the Northern Kingdom. His terrorists, his ICE terrorists, and what they're doing. Indefinite detention for children now. You know, that they are now subject to indefinite detention. You already know what that was. That was part of was an act that Obama put in there. I'm trying to remember what it was. But nonetheless, though, indefinite detention is one of the things, though. You know, so these terrorists, they're pretty much breaking up families, breaking up homes, you know, because they're so-called illegal. But Esau's occupation of Arsareth has always been illegal. You know, why aren't they deporting that? Well, because, of course, this ain't a righteous kingdom. You know, because if it were righteous, then, you know, they would be returning the land to the people that they stole it from. But you see, nobody's going to buy us back. So nobody's going to hold Esau accountable. You know, nobody ever claimed us, you know. So pretty much we are the refugees on the streets, man, you know. And that's why our children, especially Ephraim, you know, those children are now in refugee camps, you know, pretty much FEMA camps, if you will, and they are being microchipped. You could best believe that, you know, because that's the whole idea, is to get everybody on the microchip system, you know, so that way, you know, they can track your every move. You know, that's why, you know, your cars won't start unless you have these smart keys, you know. Almost everything's run by the smart system. Well, there's only one problem with that. If you accidentally hit the unlock, some motherfucker's going to steal your shit. Just like the guy who asked me last time I was here if I'd seen his scooter, you know. Because, of course, man, you know, Esau's a wounded animal, so what do you think he's going to do? We already know he's a thief. So, of course he's going to steal. It doesn't matter who he steals from. He's just going to steal because that's what he does, man. He takes advantage of situations. He pretends to be your friend. And when you're not looking, man, he steals you blind. That's how this place was conquered, pretty much, you know. You know, they waited, you know, to ravage the women, and they went in and they pretty much destroyed the places while they knew that the men were hunting for survival. And they destroyed their villages, burned them down. Well, why do you think these wildfires have had their way? So Most High is making sure that they have their way. He's allowing this plan to go through. Nothing happens here that the Most High does not allow first, So, anyhow, here's a psalm that you will not hear about if you are in the 501c3 church. That's why we tell our people to get out of them, because you will not hear this, But this is Psalm 137. I'm just going to start at the very end of it, then I'm going to go back to the beginning. Remember, O Lord, the children of Edom in the day of Jerusalem, who said, raise it, even to the foundation thereof. Why won't Christians read this? O daughter of Babylon. Who's that talking about? Who's daughter Babylon? Well, Mother Babylon, where does America originate? Originates from England, right? And that's Mother Babylon. So daughter Babylon, that's talking about America. But they won't teach you that in Sunday school. No, you have to hear the ones that are really teaching, the true church that's out there on the streets teaching. Who are to be destroyed. Happy shall thou be, that rewardeth thee as thou hast served us. So, you're seeing your cities ravaged. You're seeing that pretty much, man, he has no care for any of them. Happy shall be that taketh and dasheth thy little ones against the stones. Because that's what's going to happen. There's going to be no mercy shown. The Medes are being raised up against this place, and they will have no mercy upon the children. Well, you already know what ICE is doing. So you think that when the Medes come here under the UN, Army after next, they're going to show any mercy? Has America shown any mercy? No, it wouldn't even open up the gates to its prisoners. All right, starting over, Psalm 137. By the rivers of Babylon, there we sat down, yea, we wept, when we remembered Zion. We hanged our harps upon the willows in the midst thereof. For there they carried us away captive, required of us a song, and that they wasted us, required us mirth, saying, sing us one of the songs of Zion. At one time we knew we was Israelites, before we came unto this place. How shall we sing the Most High's song in a strange land? If I forgot thee, O Jerusalem, let my hand forget her cunning. So we lost our heritage. We did not remember who we were, not until now, which is where Ezekiel 37 comes in. If I do not remember thee, let my tongue cleave to the roof of my mouth. If I prefer not Jerusalem above my chief joy, remember, O Lord, the children of Edom in the day of Jerusalem, who said, raise it in even to the foundation thereof. And that's talking about this place, though. We were carried away to this place. O daughter of Babylon, who art to be destroyed, happy shall he be that rewardeth thee as thou hast served us. So we're looking forward to this day, the day of the Lord, as they call it in Joel. Happy shall he be that taketh and dasheth thy little ones against the stones. Those little lion red Hebrew Edomites that say that, oh, well, it was a black man that stole that, even though you know damn well that it was her that broke into the cookie jar. Nah, man, she lies and says that it was a black man, and then they're going to go hang a black man. You know how many times them fucking bitches fucking lied on us, said that we raped them? We ain't raping nobody. That's kind of like the false camps that bring up the accusations saying that we promote rape. Well, it wasn't us that had the charges of rape. Nah, it was actually an IUIC member that got charged with that not so long ago. So the very thing that they accused us of pushing, yet it was IUIC that got busted, Yeah. And then they got busted for scandals as well. Just so many things, Well, for one, they don't have the name. At least those other camps somewhat use the name, but IUIC in particularly, they took the biggest bribe because they don't even call upon the name. They still teach Caesar Borgia because they still use the name that Caesar Borgia came in, Jesus Christ, which is a Greek name. Yeah, that's what Caesar Borgia, better known as David Rothschild today, calls himself. He calls himself the Anointed. He makes sure that everything worships him. That's what these Edomites wanted, was the worship. They claimed to be the Greeks. They claimed to be the Egyptians. They claimed to be everything. Don't believe me? Go rent a movie. Go rent Cleopatra. Who do you see playing the Egyptians? You see the red Hebrew Edomites. Go rent Alexander the Great. Well, at least with that, you know that he was an Edomite anyways. But he wasn't no Greek. He did conquer Greece, but he wasn't a Greek. He was an Edomite, you know? And then go rent some biblical movies. They claim to be the Israelites. They claim to be the Egyptians. They claim to be the Greeks. I mean, they're playing all the parts. Because you see, that's just it. Esau, you know, is nothing more than a thief and a liar. And that's being found out. Now the whole world has a controversy with him because they now know he's been sought out and he's been found out. That's why they want to get us off the street. Because people are starting to research the very things that we're saying, that we've been teaching. And that's just it, though. Now that they're doing their research, they're finding out that everything they've been told is a lie. You know? Pretty much, though, that the whole reason for here was not to discover a land, but rather to steal. You know? And that's why this place has that name, the House of the Thief. And that's why you're starting to see chariot sightings everywhere. They call them UFOs. But that's why you're starting to see them everywhere. But this is the curse that goes forth to all the nations, that it shall enter into the house of the thief. So we're just seconds away until things start really kicking off. So you know that martial law has to come. You know that the mark of the beast has to be made mandatory, which is part of the reason, the main part of the reason why you were forced to the Real ID system. You're either compliant or you're non-compliant with the Real ID system, which has a tracking chip in it. You know, the non-compliant ones don't, as far as I know. But the Real IDs, no, they have your tracking, they have your DNA, everything's in there. Because it's just the next step to the chip. But they want to make sure everybody's on it, so that way their microchip is ready. Why do you think that your smartphone knows everything about you? You know, if you just look at browsing a sale here or there, even when you go to YouTube or whatever, it's going to give you ads based upon the things you search. Well, of course, because Esau wants to know your every move. That's why they did away with DVD recorders. They want to know everything you're watching. That's why iCloud services were created. You know, they want to know everything you're watching. It has nothing to do with copyrights. Are you kidding me? No. They know you're going to record that shit. Look at how long the VCR standard was out. Almost 30 years the VCR was out. Some people still use the VCR tapes, surprisingly. But they want to know your every move. They want to know what you're watching. They want to know what you're doing. And that's why everything went to the high definition TV. But you see, that's just it, though. Now you see on Hollywood, you see all these dudes are wearing lipstick. You're finding out how fake Hollywood really is. And that there ain't nothing but homos there, man. And that's why this place is called the place of Sodom and Egypt spiritually. And that's just it. There's nowhere left for him to hide, so he's got to shut everything down. And that's why Donald Trump has been signing a lot of things into effect. You know, we're starting to see the removal of truth. You know, a lot of channels have been taken down, and a lot of them have been given strikes. So this famine is coming, and it's coming really quickly. So get this while you still can. Eat as much of this roll while you still can. We ain't going to be out here forever. For that, I want to say Brak the Yahweh, Brak the Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakal Kadash, Wa Abba Babal. Brakathum to Yehovah elect.